Good morning, students. Today we are working on a prefix lesson. So this is meant to be a lot like your Greek and Latin root lesson, but instead of working on roots, we're working on prefixes. Miss Miller is texting me. Here's your instructions for today. This prefix lesson is meant to be like your Greek and Latin root lessons, but instead of learning about roots, you're learning about prefixes. So remember that a root plus a root equals a word. Remember, a word is made up of either base words, roots, or prefixes and suffixes, and a combination of all of those. So here's some kind of like math problems with language that I gave you. So a root plus a root equals a word. So like tele and phone equal telephone. A base and a base equal a word. So book plus shelf equals bookshelf. So base words are words that can stand alone, or sometimes you can combine them to make new words. Whereas a root cannot stand alone by itself. Those, don't happen. And then you can have a base plus a suffix equals a word. So book plus s equals books. A prefix plus a root equals a word. So here's our prefix re, here's our root flect, reflect. A prefix, a root, and a suffix can equal a word. So re plus flect plus shun equals reflection. So our goal today is to learn our new prefix. I need to change that. And understand and use that prefix to understand new or unknown words. So I'll change that before you guys see it. And what we are doing is we're working on standard RF.5.3a, and we're working with roots and affixes. By the end of this lesson, you should have the following three things accomplished. The first thing you should do is work through this Google slide lesson by following along. Next, you need to have your prefix matrix completed, which I'll show you how to do. And then lastly, you have 4 complete sentences demonstrating that you understand how to use the prefix correctly in a word and in a sentence. Don't forget to use presentation mode. I'm not sure what those marks are. I couldn't get that to go away, so I'm not sure what that is. So to begin our lesson, here's some hints in sentences. Can you see what these sentences have in common? So I'll read the 3 sentences to you. My brother made it to the semifinals of the talent show. He's an excellent guitar player. Sentence number 2. The cookie recipe called for 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate morsels or chocolate chips. And the third sentence, parts of Siloam Springs are considered semi-rural areas. So you should have noticed that all 3 of those sentences have something in common. Here's some video hints that I gave you. What you can do is pause my video and you can kind of click on these and watch them. They are unblocked so you can look at them. You don't need to watch the whole video, but what I want you to do is I want you to notice what these videos might have in common. So go ahead and pause and then watch these videos, and then you can come back to mine. Okay, so after you've watched these 2 videos, you should have noticed that they have something in common. And without even clicking on the videos, I can see what they have in common right here. I can see something on these 2 little screens. Okay, do you think you've got this prefix figured out? This kind of secret prefix? If you think you do, then you might have already figured out the meaning. So what you can do is this big kind of green and blue gradient box with the wink face right here. You can delete it or move it and find the answer or secret prefix meaning. And then once you figure out the meaning, now it's time to learn what the what the prefix is itself. So I want you to delete this box to reveal what our prefix is for the week. Okay, so now we get to the part where you demonstrate your knowledge. You're going to complete the following matrix by adding a prefix, a root, and a suffix together to form a word. And I actually am going to switch this to put a root or a base, because technically a base would work there too. So, for example, I've done the first one for you. If I take our prefix of the week, which is semi, you should have already figured out, and combine it with a base word, such as final, and then add on the suffix, that little math problem equals semifinals, which is a word. Now you need to hint, here's a hint, take note of this, not every word has a suffix. So for instance, if I wanted to, I could say semifinal. I didn't have to add on an S on here. but sometimes it just helps you create a word that you like. So whatever word you use here, you're going to use in a sentence here. So you're going to do the last four of these together. Of course, every one of these will have semi in it because that's the prefix that we're working with this week. So you'll have semi, 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 and then you'll have a different root or base word here. You can go online and look words, or excuse me, bases or roots up. You can look up any word that has semi in it to add it here. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Some of you are going to say, well, semi, like a semi truck. Well, you just gave it away. It's a semi truck or a semi trailer. We've shortened it down for a slang term to semi. Semi by itself cannot stand alone. Okay, now the next portion. You're going to do this for yourself as well. I've given you an example at the beginning. Whatever words you create in this box, you're going to transfer them over to this box, and then you're going to use them correctly in a sentence and then highlight your semi word. So for example, I put our basketball team won their conference semifinals and are moving on to play in the finals. Once you use a semi word, you can only use it one time, so do not use it again. That means that semifinal and semifinals are off the table because I've already used it. So you have to come up with your own semi words, and you can Google those online. Okay, good luck, and I can't wait to see what you produce. Have a wonderful day.